What's up, guys? I want to talk a bit about some news that came out today. Um, and I skimmed through it, and I'm going to read through it as I talk to you because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. And then I'll, talk about what I think about this news. Okay? And it concerns 704. So bear with me. I'm going to read off my phone. All right? So 704 games. Okay, as you can see there, that's what I'm looking at. 704 Games announces new hires. Okay, Colin Smith, Motorsport Network veteran, named president. Ed Martin moves to new roles as managing director of Esports. Okay, here we go. NASCAR's Esport licensee, Xbox One, PS4 announced today new personnel organizational restructuring as the company poises for future growth and realigns to further focus on esports development and competitor and fan engagement. Colin Smith has been named president at 704 Games. While new to the company, Smith is a veteran in the digital media and sports marketing space and spent over 5 years at NASCAR Digital Media before becoming CEO at Motorsport Network. Okay, so we got further focus on esports, and he was the CEO at Motorsport Network. After Motorsports Network acquired 704 Games in August of 2018, Smith oversaw the smooth integration of the video game developer and NASCAR Heat franchise publisher into Motorsports Network. During that time, he became familiar with the company and its day-to-day operations. After working with the team at 704 Games, the management team at Motorsports Network and I realized untapped potential in the company. And Colin Smith said, as we look towards the future, we'll be doubling down our focus on the growing popularity of esports. Doubling down on the focus on esports. Developing a more robust racing environment within the NASCAR Heat game and expanding our platform in the US and abroad. As part of the reorganization at 704 Games, Ed Martin has been named Managing Director of Esports and Partnerships. Martin will now be overseeing the day-to-day management and development of the NASCAR Heat Pro League, as well as other esports tournaments and opportunities for the NASCAR Heat franchise. Bear with me, guys. I'm trying to let this soak in. Martin's first task as managing director was leading the inaugural NASCAR Heat Pro League draft that took place Sunday, March 10th at ISM Raceway. 14 race teams were on hand to draft 28 esports drivers as well as many NASCAR stars in attendance, including Richard Petty, 2018 NASCAR champion Logano, Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, NASCAR president Steve Phelps, blah, blah, blah. In other personnel news, former CEO Paul Brooks will now move to an advisory role as non-executive chairman. Additionally, 704 Games has hired 2 new employees to its marketing department. Stephen Wang has joined 704 Games as the esports and mobile marketing manager. Wang has over 5 years' experience working in mobile gaming and esports and will help 704 Games build its esports league and expand its mobile gaming platform. Zane Lovett, who spent over 9 years in the video game industry with Electronic Arts and Blizzard Entertainment, working on building communities with fans and developers, has been hired as the community manager. Fans can learn more about 704 games and the NASCAR Pro League at NASCARHeat.com. Blah, blah, blah. About 704 games. Sorry. That's about it. Okay. So, give me a second. Thanks for bearing with me. So, basically, this news is all about esports. There was some mention of, mobile gaming and the community and this tournament, and even Ed Martin is now managing director for esports. So there's a lot of basic jargon, right? But the bottom line is the people from Operation Motorsports, or whatever, the Motorsports Network, whatever the hell they are, none of this has anything to do with actual game development in terms of the actual product, the game. It's really all about the esports online multiplayer side of things. I'm not going to lie to you guys. In case you haven't noticed, I am not excited about any of this. And I really don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I don't want to jump to conclusions, right? And I'm not going to panic and say, well, we are going to get NASCAR Heat 4. And I am pretty sure that these guys are going to work on adding more to the career mode. And it's still early. We didn't hear anything about NASCAR Heat 3 last year until, I think, May or June. You guys can correct me on that, but it took a while. I'm not really worried that, hey, they're just going to forget all about the offline stuff and just completely focus on one thing. But I can't lie. This is disturbing. All of this stuff, this direction, they do seem almost solely focused, at least in terms of this article. They're just talking about esports, online multiplayer, tournaments, all this other crap that really has very little to do with the game overall. Yes, if you enjoy online racing and stuff, that stuff may or may not interest you. And I don't want to say I'm speaking for everybody, because I'm not. I am curious, those of you who really care about esports and this online racing stuff, let me know. But I'm disturbed, and I don't like the sound of this. Ed Martin, historically, his experience has always been with the development of the actual offline stuff. Even back at EA, he was the guy who was mostly responsible for the Thunder series, which to this day is still the best group of games we've ever had with NASCAR. That was a really long time ago. And a lot of people, like myself, for the most part, have been pretty disappointed that, we're in 2019 now. We're still asking for stuff that we used to get so many years ago. As much as they have improved with this game or this franchise, they still haven't matched a game like 2004, which I'm not going to say everyone, but a lot of people feel is probably the pinnacle. That's 15 fucking years ago, So we keep waiting and hoping that these guys, that's their focus. They want to fucking really elevate this game, this product, to a point where we can finally say, this is the best NASCAR game we've ever had. We really love this product, and we can't wait to see how you keep developing. Also, we know they have the license to 2029. That's another 10 years of having the NASCAR license. which means no one else is going to make a NASCAR game. There's not going to be competition. There's not going to be anything that's going to force these guys to really up their game. Everything rests on their shoulders and their decisions. And all we could do is like plead with these people, try to get our message across, cross our fingers, hope. But at the end of the day, they can serve us anything they choose. Because it's a market with only one choice. So it's not even a market. If you're a NASCAR fan and you really want a NASCAR game, this is it. You're going to have to eat whatever they serve you. And if it doesn't taste all that great, so be it. You're going to have to make the most of it. Now, they didn't do a terrible job. NASCAR Heat 3 was not a bad game, but it still lacks in so many areas, and that's really what I think people walk away with. And that's what hurts the overall, overview of this product for most people. So I don't think there's a lot of people out there that would say it's a terrible game. It's not. It's decent. But man, I got to tell you, I'm sick and tired of hearing about esports. Online racing is a disaster, as I've always said it is and will continue to be. You can't stop people from being dicks online. You can't control how people race. 99% of the racing is these quick sprints. It's just a bunch of junk. And I guess this esports thing is this tournament. You have to try to qualify and make it in there and still. But I don't understand what the ultimate goal is. And I did read somewhere, I don't know if it was with this article, but I did see a video online. And, oh my God. IDK Player, I think is his name. I hope I got that right. And they did mention stuff like, with this league and this. I don't get it, man. It's like their goal is to create online racing for consoles, like online leagues and like an organized thing. I'm not confident at all that this will ever really work. Now, if you're someone who all you play is consoles, I get it. But if you really want to race online against real people that badly in an organized way, those are people that I think would sign up for iRacing. I've always said iRacing and consoles are apples and oranges. You can't compare the two things. You're never going to get what you get on iRacing on these consoles. You're just not, because iRacing is a service. You pay a monthly fee. It is constantly monitored. It's not just a have-at-it open server where people can just do whatever they want. If you drive like an asshole, you're going to pay a price. And the fact that you're paying a monthly fee, and it is expensive. By the time you're all in, and you got to earn your licenses and all that, and you got to pay for these tracks and cars, it adds up. iRacing isn't as cheap as people want you to believe. But the point is that if you decide that that's what you want, that that's where your focus is, you're not going to, spend that kind of money, invest that kind of time, getting those licenses to race with people in organized leagues just to wreck people on purpose and drive like a dick. That's why iRacing works. Console online racing is a troll fest. And believe it or not, I do jump online every once in a while. I was on the other day. I always give it a try. I just jump on just for the hell of it. And the other day I spent like 3 hours just bouncing around one race to the next. And it's the same fucking thing over and over. It's just people, 3% races, just smashing into people and then quitting halfway through the race. It's just, I don't understand, man. I just want a good offline fucking game. And they hired all these people. I didn't hear one thing about, oh, we also hired extra developers to continue working on the career mode and making sure we can add the type of things people have been asking for. Those are the type of things I want to hear. And I've said it before. Those of you who watch my videos, how many times have you heard me say, hey, 704, man, even if you have to, hire extra help. If you need a couple extra developers to help chip in and make sure you can make certain things happen, so that you don't say, hey, we wanted to give you a paint booth, but we couldn't do it because we were focused on this thing. But now, okay, they're hiring people, and it's all these motorsports network people from marketing, esports. It's like, what the fuck is going on? 704 is undergoing some changes, and I really think it just, from the looks of this, and it's early, it just looks to me like they're pushing this in a bad direction. And I'm not, man, I'm trying really hard not to be pessimistic or negative. And so I've heard, sometimes people say, oh, these guys just want to bitch and complain about everything. But you guys don't understand. The criticism is necessary. It's constructive. We want to let these people know what they're doing wrong, what we don't like, and what we want. And they said that they haven't been profitable as a game. That they expect to be profitable this year, but the best way to be profitable is to create the best possible product. If the game is really good, more people will buy it. This, I don't know if it's going to get people's interest. I might be wrong. But they've been doing this esports thing. The online racing is still a disaster in my opinion. And I'm sure some of you guys enjoy it. When I played Grand Theft Auto, I spent most of my time racing. And guess what? Those races were nothing but troll fests. But it's different because it's Grand Theft Auto. And you know going in what it is. It's not meant to be a serious, a game that's taken seriously. So I enjoyed the racing on that because it's just for kicks. NASCAR is a sport. When you play this, even online, you want to feel some sense of organization. And there isn't any. And the biggest reason for that is the people. I'm not even blaming 704 because people don't really want to do it, or they can't because there's too many fucked up people online. I don't think this is ever going to work. If this is what they're thinking, that they're going to start running these leagues and all this, and people are going to run and buy this game because they want to be a part of this, man, I'm telling you, I really think these people are. This doesn't sound good to me. There's huge red flags all over the place, and like I said, it's early. I'm sure they are working on the offline part of the game. I'm not telling you, hey, they're just going to chuck all of that. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, all I saw in this article, all I'm hearing from these people is esports this, esports that. I'm fucking tired of it. Maybe I'm just not representative of most people. Maybe most people, that's what they want. Maybe they're looking forward to it. I don't know. Maybe I'm shit out of luck. Maybe I'm never going to get what I've been wanting to get. And it's a fucking shame. These guys have the license for 10 more fucking years. Where are they fucking going with this? And Ed Martin, he's just strictly now managing whatever the fuck for the esports stuff. Who's in charge of offline Who's in charge of the career mode? Who's in charge of the content that goes into the offline part of this game? What are the plans for that? That's what I want to hear from 704. And 704, these changes, and they said it in the article, that this is like a company shift. When you hear all of these new people coming in and positions being moved, and they're telling you we're focused, clearly I read it and it says it in the article, they're focused on esports. That's not a good sign. So it just seems like they're going further away from being an actual game developer to an online, it's still a game technically, but what the fuck, where are they headed with this? And you look at other games, these games that developers are creating now, some of these games are like online only games, don't even have a story mode. In these Star Wars games or these Battlefront games, The Division, these games are all centered really around online multiplayer. And these games they suck. Now, I know there's people that probably love those games and they fall into that perfect niche, but I fucking hate that stuff. I'm still an offline story mode content kind of guy. Yes, it's nice if I can jump online and have some fun. But man, when it comes to racing, online racing is a fucking mess. And on consoles, how are you going to make that work ever? None of this sounds positive. It's early, and hey, you know what? A month from now, they might start talking about other stuff and the career mode. And I look forward to that. But right now, all we have is this article. So I have to talk about it. I can't pretend it's not there, and I can't pretend that it's not alarming. So that's what I have to say about it. I'm curious to know what you guys think, so I look forward to your comments.